This has turned into one of our favorite segments of the week. We get a lot of weird callers. We get a lot of good callers, but there's a lot of mix, right? So we do this segment called the worst caller of the week, where we take what we believe to be. We had a lot of bad callers today. We could have switched it up, but that would have given our producer more work to do, and I know he didn't want that. So
once it's set,
basically
the entries have to be in by Thursday.
So do Friday's calls count for next week?
Friday's just kind of a big void.
We had a lot of bad callers today, but anyway,
I think they should. I think they should.
This week's segment, Joe versus Jimmy, and we all vote on who's the worst caller of the week. In fact, I think both callers called in today. It makes it funnier. But okay, so let's start with Joe. Joe is a listener who's streaming our show from New Jersey, right? So we're very happy about that. And Joe decided to call into the show. Let's just have a listen to this phone call. Let's start with Joe. Joe, thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, Joe?
First, I have COVID right now. I'm in Jersey right now.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's really, for me, it's not bad. I'm 49. I have asthma. I'm just congested for the last 2 weeks, to be honest with you. And I still went to dinner recently. I'm telling you, a lot of people are done with this.
When you say you think a lot of people are done, you mean people don't want to practice social distancing or wear a mask? Is that what you're referring to, Joe?
I am, sir. I think that people are starting to realize this is not the big pandemic that they thought.
Let me respond to you. First of all,
sure.
And I mean this with all due respect, people can think what they want. I don't care. They have to abide by the rules and regulations that the governor's put forward. Hold on. I have an issue with what you said. I'm sorry that you have the virus and you're going through that. I don't wish that upon anybody. But you're telling me you have the virus and you're still going out and having dinner with friends?
I am.
Well, that's idiotic. I tell you what, it didn't hit me at first. Usually when somebody says something really bad, I usually, right away. It took me a couple minutes, maybe a minute or so for it to actually register. The man just said he has coronavirus and he's out there having dinner with friends. All right, I don't want to influence the judges, but that was really bad. All right, so now let's go to Jimmy. Jimmy is a regular who called in earlier in the week. Have a listen to this call. Let's go to Jimmy. Jimmy's next on the Vegas Take.
Hey, what's up, Jimmy?
We've come a long way. And it's getting better and better, but I think the media is a major problem because they inflame the flames. As far as these shootings, the media, if a white cop shoots a black person, it's on the news.
Jimmy, I don't disagree.
For about a month.
Jimmy,
also,
hold on. Can I just go to that topic?
In Africa, how many white people have been made president over there?
What? Wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. You want to compare the country of Africa, continent, and how many?
It's a continent, Brian.
You want to compare Africa?
How many
so you want to make the comparison to presidents of the United States of America to the continent of Africa, and that is an atrocious analogy that you are making right now. How many Americans have been the president of China? Come on, that's a stupid comment that you just made. That was pretty. Boy, this is a tough one. These are two really bad calls.
Jimmy's thoughts on race relations are brilliant and thought-provoking.
Right. Again, I don't want to influence the judges, so here's what I will say.
Very progressive.
Those were two horrendous phone calls and horrendous takes. All right, let's go to JD first, as we always do. JD, give me your vote.
I have to vote Joe. I have to vote. I mean, Joe has COVID-19. He's in New Jersey.
I gotta say, I'm a little surprised at your vote.
And there have been some people that have died. A lot of people that have died. They actually have New Jersey.
I like it when he says people have died and he's laughing while he says it.
No, I'm saying New Jersey has the highest mortality rate in the country, much higher than New York.
Yes, it does.
So there's actually a decent chance that Joe could be killing people.
I agree.
By going to a restaurant.
I can't believe it.
No, here in Nevada, Nevada's mortality rate is about 5 times better than New Jersey.
Even if it's better, we can all agree you probably shouldn't be out having dinner with friends.
Well, you shouldn't be in the state that has the highest mortality rate and be doing what he is doing, in my opinion.
All right, so your vote is Joe.
And I've been very, very
I got you.
open about my thoughts on COVID. But if I had COVID in New Jersey, I would not be going to restaurants.
Well, I think if you have COVID anywhere, you shouldn't be going out to restaurants. I think that's a safe thing to say. But yes, I agree with you. Again, I don't want to influence the judges, but I don't blame you for voting for Joe. All right, let's go to Jason Stein, our producer. Stein is next. Who do you vote for?
I'm going for Jimmy, and I'll tell you why.
Wow.
Yep, I think there's a chance that Joe is BSing us, pulling our chain. and that he doesn't really have COVID. He's not really going in public. I think there's a chance he might be joking with us. Whereas Jimmy's thoughts were just completely asinine. So I vote Jimmy. So it's 1-1.
All right. Well, listen, I can't disagree with either of you. They're both you chose wisely with these two callers. They're both idiots. All right. Let's go to Sean McCullum, our associate producer, who does a great job in putting us in and out of breaks and the music as well. So, Mr. McCullum, give me your thoughts on this. Who are you voting for and why?
I actually just changed my vote. So
whoa. Did somebody
Stein kind of
influence?
swayed me.
Oh,
so.
you're not.
Well, not on purpose.
All right.
No, not at all. And
You
I
were
will say
influenced.
this. Originally, my vote was going to be for Joe, but Stein had a good point there. He could be kind of pulling our leg, but I mean, I'm not even going to entertain that thought. You know, if I have pneumonia and I go out to a restaurant, I'm an idiot knowingly. But my vote is for Jimmy. You know, I think he needs to be the next United Nations diplomat. But you know that they teach us stuff in like the 10th grade, race relations. Pick up a history book. Come on. So short and sweet, my vote goes to Jimmy. That's all.
Boy, you guys are making this really hard for me because you guys made a good argument for either caller. So if Joe is pulling our leg, then obviously I would vote for Jimmy. But we don't know
Speculation.
When I heard Joe
that.
talk, I didn't hear. I mean, I heard a little bit of a sniffle there, but he actually sounded pretty good, and he said that he had been stuffed up for a couple of weeks. I think that Joe is telling the truth.
All right, so can I vote for both? Here's the thing: if Joe is telling the truth, I 100% vote for Joe. But I agree.
That's
with Stein.
exactly right.
Thank you, Mr. McCloskey. If Joe is pulling our leg, then of course I got to go with Jimmy. But I guess you have to vote here, right? I'm going to vote for Jimmy, and it's very hard for me to do this, but I'm going to do it simply because when you say, why have we had a white president of Africa, that might be one of the dumbest comments I've ever heard in radio. That would be like me saying, because
the continent. First of all, the continent doesn't have a president.
Yeah, but I don't think he said. I don't think he said of Africa. I think he said white presidents in Africa.
Right.
I don't think he. You actually called Africa a country.
Well, yeah,
but
it's
I
a
think,
I misspoke.
I think that he called it a continent. He just said of the countries that are in Africa, the continent.
Oh, is that what he said?
Well, yeah, he said of.
How many? What's the percentage of white people on the continent of Africa? Taking away South Africa, of course.
So South Africa's got 5.6 million, which I think is like 20% or so. I'm guessing it's less than 2%.
But outside of South Africa,
I'm guessing it's less than 2%.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's my vote.
I'll say 2 to 4% is my guess.
Listen, you can make the argument for Joe as well, but I think Stein did make a good point. Joe might have been pulling our leg. But there are people out there that have the virus that are not in quarantine. I have no doubt that there are people out there that know they have the virus that knowingly are not wearing masks and just going about their everyday life. You people are some of the dumbest people in society. Yeah, they are cuckoo. They really are. They really are.
I can tell you this. If I had the virus and I knew it, I would be picking up food from restaurants. I would not be sitting down in full restaurants. I would, especially in a state like New Jersey, which has been hit really, really hard by this virus.
Who wants to go out anyway?
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
With or without the virus, who wants to go out to eat?
Yeah, or you could be getting dealt cards with somebody with the virus. And you say, we don't even have enough time to talk about this. We didn't even get to it. But the Win has announced that they've had over 500 of their employees that have tested positive for the virus. That doesn't make you feel really good about going out and going to it. You get dealt blackjack and you get dealt the coronavirus. That's awesome.
But 98% of those cases, according to contact tracing, came from outside of the Win. And they've tested 500,000 people that have been to the Win since they reopened. Which is a lot, by the way.
Well,
and
like I said, you can't double down on the
of them
coronavirus.
Tested positive.
Can you double down and split the coronavirus? I don't think you can. Hey, let me double down on that. Give me a 21, and maybe I can get the coronavirus to go along with it.